Good morning, folks. So this is Oblique Plane 6, and in today's tutorial what we're going to be having a look at is finding the traces of an oblique plane. Okay, now sometimes you could have a surface like this, or just resting there in 3D space. Okay, and what we need to do is to find out the traces of the oblique plane for this laminar. Okay, now what you're going to typically do with that is, it's almost like growing legs is a way I like to think about it. Okay, so if we look at this here, and by the way, I've all the dimensions of these put into your OneNote, but even if you didn't, you could just roughly draw up something like this and you'll be able to finish it out anyway. So what we're going to do there, from C through A, we're going to extend down a line here. It's almost like growing a leg. Okay, excuse me. Now where it hits the ground, we're going to drop vertically down. Okay, so just put an arrow in there as well. Now, in elevation, if we create a line coming from C, going through A and onwards, we must do the same thing down here in plan. Take out a line. And what this gets us now, this gets us 1 point on the horizontal trace. So if you do one thing in elevation, you must do the same in plan. For example, I always liken it to, if that was a window pane in elevation, if you threw a rock through it and put a hole in it, you know, you'd have to represent that hole down here in plan as well. Now, the second thing we're going to do there is we are going to put in a line from C, running through B, onwards until it hits the ground. And I'm doing that in orange. Where it hits the ground there, we're going to drop it down vertically again. And then down here in plan, we're going to create that same line or leg, starting at C and running on through B. Okay. So what these often remind me of is like if you ever watched the lunar landing, where the legs come down out of a pod to land on a surface. Okay, it's like that. Them legs coming down here to hit the ground, and they're coming down here to hit the ground as well. And we're after finding a second point there now. So now we're able to draw in the horizontal trace. Mark in T and H, and then it's the standard thing then for finding a point up here for the vertical trace. You could do the opposite, by the way. You could do the direct opposite of what we did there. Okay, creating our legs in plan, bringing them up, etc. But handy way there now is, I'll just get my other set square there. If we line up our set squares, we take any known point or height. I'm going to take C. I'm going to do a parallel line. Okay, so this line here now I'm creating is parallel to the horizontal trace. And if we bring it up, and bring across that point from C now, that we get as a point on the vertical trace. So that's the oblique, the traces of the oblique plane found in that question. What I did with this one here in the pink on the left hand side, this is slightly different, and I've seen it coming in a question before, and we'll come across it again next year when we're revising our old DCG exam questions. But let's say you have I just did a sketch there, the vertical and horizontal planes, okay? And we have just a regular plane, okay, resting here, but we've been asked to find the traces on this. This is a simply inclined plane. Now what you would do, the handiest way about doing this is just to do an end view. So I did the elevation in plan. Again, the dimensions for this, you could just do something roughly like that, but the dimensions I used exactly for this were on OneNote. So what I would do there is I would do an end view. The reason I'm doing an end view is because I want to see an edge view of this. Now that's an edge view of that simply inclined plane. Now I know we're studying oblique planes, but this did come up one year, so I said I'd throw it in as a matter of interest. Now, what you can simply do there, a very simple way now, the horizontal or the vertical trace is going to come across here. Okay, it's going to be parallel to XY line. So is the horizontal trace down here. So if you just extend on these guys, or the edge view there, I'll extend it down as well. So I'm going to drop this down now and bring it across. That there now would get the horizontal trace for me. Okay, and up here, if we bring this across here, this would be the vertical trace up here. Okay, and I just said I'd throw that in for a matter of interest. So that's find the trace of an oblique plane. That is how you would go about doing that. Okay, and with the given information there, and on a simply inclined plane there, an in view would be the handiest way there of getting the horizontal and vertical trace there. So a short and simple lesson, folks. That's up in one note. I hope you're keeping well. Stay safe, folks. We'll talk to you again soon.